This is Pastor Marco from Community Church of Devore with another prophecy update. Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, in Hebrew, Koheleth, "For everything there's a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time for war, a time for peace." Jesus himself pointed out that prior to his return, there will be wars and rumors of wars. There'll be nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Daniel even pointed out that wars and desolations are determined until the end. Paul the Apostle, quoting from Jeremiah, said that there will be people saying peace and safety. Then sudden destruction will come. Jeremiah said the same thing in Jeremiah chapter 6. Put it all together, you'll be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. There will be some kind of talk of peace and security. Well, ultimately, there will be some kind of peace, a false peace, that will only lead to destruction. Because Jesus is the only one that can bring peace. He's the true Prince of Peace, but people will be seduced into a false peace, especially at a time of war. Officially named the 12-day war by U.S. President Donald Trump, the war between Israel and Iran is officially over. Well, sort of. For all intended purposes, those 12 days of fighting can be essentially viewed as a continuation and an expansion of the war that has been raging between Iran and Israel, especially the Iranian proxies, like Hamas, since its invasion. Hamas invaded Israel on October 7th, 2023, where 1,200 Jews were killed and some of them, I think about 200 some hostages were taken into Gaza. Over the past 637 days, Israel has decimated Iran's strongest and most well-armed proxies, including Hamas, but also the Lebanese one and Hezbollah. They're in Lebanon. Hezbollah, which are financially in trouble right now, so they're not much of a threat. Israel has attacked the Houthis in Yemen, and they have kept them at bay for now. Also the ones in Syria and Iraq. Iran has had to witness the entire axis of resistance crumble right before their eyes. Now that their entire nuclear program, along with stockpiles of missiles, ballistic missiles, have been destroyed, any leverage of the so-called axis of resistance is pretty much gone.
The Pentagon is backing President Trump's assertion that U.S. and Israeli strikes obliterated Iran's major nuclear sites, severely pushing back their nuclear ambitions.
All of the intelligence that we've seen have led us to believe that those facilities especially, have been completely obliterated. I think we're thinking probably closer to 2 years, like degraded their program by 2 years.
But Iran may soon try to secretly return to building nuclear weapons, as the regime's president signed off on suspending their cooperation with the United Nations nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency. The Iranian regime faces both President Trump's and Israel's threats that bombing will resume if Iran returns to the path of developing nuclear weapons. Trump is also warning Hamas, saying conditions will get worse for the terrorist group in Gaza unless it agrees to a new ceasefire deal that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has already agreed to. The deal would lead to a 60-day ceasefire with a U.S.-backed guarantee of talks on permanently ending the war and Hamas freeing 10 of the 20 surviving hostages and a number of the bodies.
And Israel has simultaneously asserted themselves as a dominant military power in that region. Many of the Arab states are concerned that Israel has gathered a lot of power, especially after this war. Iran wants to continue to threaten Israel, but they're just threats. There's not much of a seemingly a very dire threat right now. It's just simply posturing. However, I don't think it's over yet. Approximately 50 hostages are still in Gaza. 20 of them are probably living. It's the best estimations, which there's been a big push by Israel, the people in Israel, by Trump, his administration, to really get all of the hostages back, the living hostages back. So Trump was even reminding today of, this is your moment, as Israel rallied all across the nation regarding the hostage deal and to end the war. So naturally, the question is, what would happen next? What is going to happen next? On the ground, for sure, the focus will surely shift back to Gaza, and it has been. And the U.S. envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, is working very hard with the mediators to secure a hostage deal. As we mentioned before in other videos, as well as in catching up with Jacob, one of the major sticky points of the negotiations is that Hamas is demanding for a permanent end to the war, while Israel is preferring only a temporary ceasefire. For obvious reasons, once the war is over, Hamas can stay in Gaza in power. If Israel gets a ceasefire, get the hostages back, they can go after Hamas and remove the evil from Gaza. So why should we expect a different outcome this time? In short, now that the head of the snake, or better put, the head of the octopus, Iran, has been decimated, at least for now, if there's little, if any, leverage by Hamas, which means one of its tentacles, Iran's tentacles, in its proxy network, doesn't have much of a leverage. In other words, a hostage deal is most likely on the horizon. But they're just more than a hostage deal on the horizon. I'm speaking, of course, of Donald Trump's proposed deal of the century, which has been upgraded to the deal of the millennium, formerly known as the Peace to Prosperity deal, or the Israeli-Palestinian peace plan that was put together by Jared Kushner in his first term, when Donald Trump's first term. But it's not just a matter of the name being upgraded. The stakes are higher, and rumors are swirling that President Trump is aiming and really wants to complete total reconciliation between the Islamic world and the Jewish world, that he plans to use his art of the deal skills to broker a historic agreement that will include not only the expansion of the Abraham Accords, more nations coming in, but apparent a resolution to the Israeli-Arab conflict as well, which that would be historic. That would be gigantic. And by all accounts, his administration and influence appears to already be working. Following Iran's defeat, any reservation that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had about such an agreement seems to have been evaporated. In a televised victory speech after the defeat of Iran, in Operation Rising Lion, which was what Israel called the military operation over Iran, Netanyahu had this to say about the future of the Middle East. He says, with the elimination of Iran's evil axis, we will open an axis of peace and prosperity for the people of the region. We are already working on this vigorously, and at the time, it'll come to reveal our actions. And in due time, it will come to reveal our actions.
עם חיסול ציר הרשע של איראן, אנחנו נפתח ציר של שלום ושגשוג של עמי האזור, ואני אומר לכם, גם מעבר לעמי האזור. אנחנו כבר עובדים על כך במרץ, ויגיע הזמן גם לחשוף את פעולתנו.
It would appear that the dismantling of Iran and its the axis of resistance, including Iran itself, of course, has cleared the way for a new landscape to emerge in the Middle East, one that includes Israel and the larger Arab world joining together in a historic peace and security alliance, including Saudi Arabia. Of course, students of prophecy are well aware of the implications of such a deal. I don't think Iran is going anywhere. The Prince of Persia, the principality over Iran, is still very much in power. Read Daniel chapter 10. If there's no regime change, we will see a lesser Iran who's going to need more allies. And now that Iran has been bumped down the totem pole of influence, at least regional influence, a power vacuum is emerging. The question is, who will rise up and fill the vacuum? And more importantly, what will their intentions be? Will this be China? Will this be Russia? Will this be Europe? Or will an unknown character emerge and fill the void? For now, we must watch and pray. Up until now, the region has only seen nothing but war, but soon it could be that they could be seeing something very different. Perhaps you might be hearing of peace and safety. So brothers and sisters, preach the gospel of the kingdom as we see the day approaching. Don't forsake the fellowship of one another, as some already have, says the book of Hebrews, but we ought not to do that. Thank you for watching. If you would like to know more about our ministry, like to know more about our videos and prophecy updates, current events, as well as Bible teaching, verse by verse, as well as topical, go to our website, ccodtruth.org, or on YouTube, Devore Truth. We also have a Rumble account, Devore Truth, as well as Bread for the Famine. Or you could also go to Moriel.org, Moriel TV on YouTube, on X, and on Rumble. Until next time, get into God's Word. Get God's Word into you. May the Lord bless you and keep you.